my fellow Marks, and welcome to this TLC edition of the Remark. That's right, Vince McMahon named an entire pay-per-view after the tender loving care he wishes he could give Roman Reigns every night. My name's Martin, and this year for Christmas, I got Roman Reigns as the WWE Champion. I must have been really fucking bad this year. This time, the dramatic voiceover guy wastes no time in letting the audience know how he feels.
WWE TLC.
This year, TLC is brought to us live from Boston, and if Fallout 4 is anything to go by, we're likely to be hit by an atomic bomb of disappointment. Can't wait for Fallout 5 set in New Jersey. Hell, I already blew it up, they don't even need any imagination. 2 ginger children posing as human beings managed to infiltrate the arena, and then were greeted by our festive panel of experts. Renee Young, who this year asked Santa for a less terrifying character model in WWE 2K16. Booker T, who asked Santa for a less terrifying character model in real life. Byron Saxton, who asked Santa if he could be occasionally allowed to speak on Raw. And Corey Graves, who asked Santa for a pony. Corey isn't very creative. The fans are already on the edge of their seats in anticipation of tonight's main event.
I'm predicting right now the Roman Empire starts and begins and lives on with the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Meanwhile, Booker T has some important updates about tonight's professional wrestling proceedings.
The hoverboard. Guys, the hoverboard has been banned.
How did you get here?
That's a shame, as it ruined the original concept for this pay-per-view. Tables, hoverboards, and chairs. Or THC. Yes, you would need a lot of THC to enjoy this show. Booker explains that he almost didn't make the kickoff show, as he had 3 delayed flights. But there was no way he was going to miss it.
Nothing would stop me from getting to Boston and my people.
Yes, you can walk like a civilian.
We're here.
Well, we are here for TLC.
Yes, Booker T is rather like Donald Trump. Both are inexplicably popular men who have performed at WrestleMania and who have made horrifically racist statements on live television. Renee Young passes things over to well-dressed man-child Tom Phillips in the social media lounge, who is currently doing his uncanny impression of a smiley face emoji.
Garden to Tom Phillips, see what's going on the internet and who he's going to have in the social media lounge. Tom, what do you got going on?
Overachieving second grader Tom Phillips helps explain the benefits of subscribing to the WWE Network.
The exact same pay-per-view, WWTLC, is just $9.99. That is a savings of $45.
Okay, out of character for a second. Savings. Yes, Americans, that sure is a savings. That plural noun certainly is singular. Fans will be happy to know that they get a savings when they subscribe to these network. A savings. Fuck off. Okay, back in character now. Renee Young announces as a joke that Sasha Banks versus Becky Lynch will be on the pre-show tonight. Nice try, Renee, but I'm not a fucking idiot. Just because I watch and enjoy wrestling on a regular basis doesn't mean that I'm going to... Oh shit, it's real. The experts hype up the 8-man elimination tag team match between the Wyatt family and Team ECW. And we get a video package that highlights the feud, including Tommy Dreamer's return. Tommy would go on to say that as soon as the Dudleys called for his help, he dropped everything to come to the aid of his friends. Yes, Tommy, your old friends, the Dudleys, who broke your high school sweetheart Beulah McGillicuddy's neck and spent years bragging about it while trying to murder you. You know, your bestest buds. Booker T is a bottomless source of wrestling acumen.
Bray Wyatt is a guy who really don't give a care about the past. He's all about right now, today, the future. Started with John Cena. He finished it off with The Undertaker, and now...
Yes, he doesn't care about the past. He's focusing on the future, such as the young rookie talent John Cena and The Undertaker. I hear for his next opponent he wants somebody fresh off the independent circuit, so he's going after Ron Simmons. Booker T is paid to know about wrestling stuff.
The Dudleys, as well as Tommy Dreamer, and what's the other guy? Rhino.
Yes, Team ECW, comprised of who is that, whatchamacallit, what's his face, and whoever. And you only have to pay $9.99 to watch them wrestle. What? Savings. Booker T emphasizes the intensity of this feud.
So you think that we're going to see a repeat of that
They're
tonight?
going to beat them like they stole something. That's what's going to happen.
Never mind the fact that both teams have been physically assaulting each other and putting each other through furniture. They're going to go after them as if they pinched something from somebody else. Hold on to your hats. There's going to be some light wrist slapping involved. There is a commercial for the thing that you are currently watching, which takes the form of a modded version of Undertale reveal where the main character sprite has been replaced with Roman Reigns. The genocide ending features Roman Reigns' career being brutally murdered by the audience's apathy. We learn that TLC is sponsored by Toys R Us and K Jewelers. Because if the most hardcore pay-per-view of the year is going to appeal to anybody, it's going to be small children and women. The experts run down the storied feud between Kevin Owens and Dean Ambrose, including the moment last week on Raw where Dean threw soda and popcorn into Kevin's face. Turns out the story of this feud was lifted directly from an episode of Glee Season 1. Just wait till you hear Kevin Owens sing Don't Stop Believin'. Booker T gives us an in-depth look at Dean Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose is not the type of guy that goes in and strategizes. He's got one speed, and that's go outside.
That's the part of the driving test that I would always fail. I'd always forget to put the car into gear. Backstage, the Usos and the Lucha Dragons are getting hyped for their triple threat ladder match, and Sin Cara manages to botch a simple, commonly used phrase.
If I were you two, I'd be careful and not fly too close to the sun.
The New Day offend the Lucha Dragons and the Usos by gifting them with a subscription to WrestleCrate. Booker T's Christmas gift to all of us is a Shucky Ducky Quack Quack themed TV graphic, complete with a duck with Booker T's hairstyle. His dark sona, you might call it. Yeah, when I think of an inanimate object that floats around aimlessly until someone pulls the plug, I think Booker T. Booker T fills our hearts with the joy that only the festive season can bring.
Tonight, it's going to be a Christmas spirit type of night, let me tell you.
Yeah, there's gonna be a Santa kind of guy coming down that chimney kind of thing. And what's the other guy? Rudolph. Booker T predicts the Lucha Dragons will win because of Christmas. That's his actual reasoning. It's actually the tightest and most succinct reasoning he's ever had on the kickoff show. So that's something. Breaking Ground is a series that showcases all of the brilliant ingenuity of the minds and the people behind one of the most innovative and forward-thinking wrestling products.
The concept is Bratz doll meets belly dancer gypsy like.
Also her. Ric Flair is talking on the phone to one of the few people that he doesn't owe hundreds of thousands of dollars to.
And tonight I'm here to watch Charlotte style and profile all over Paige.
I would have a hard time styling and profiling all over Paige if I knew Ric Flair was watching me do it. Paige bumps into Ric Flair and accuses him of trying to steal his daughter's spotlight, whereas Flair replies that he doesn't need anybody else's spotlight.
I have a glow around me 24 hours a day that never leaves.
It's called a drinking problem. Renee asks the other experts if they think that Ric will get in Charlotte's way tonight. Byron Saxton posits that Ric Flair is an emotional person, much like Charlotte. Could we see any of these emotions that Charlotte has at some point? Maybe. Booker T spoils the final scene in the new Star Wars movie.
She's going to the mountaintop. She's going to the mountaintop.
Corey Graves thinks that one guy from the Ascension is single-handedly responsible for recording the world's events throughout the course of time.
History is written by the victors.
The experts hype us up for Alberto Del Rio versus Jack Swagger by showing us a promo that Swagger cut for the WWE's Facebook page. Ah yes, the feud so intense that it existed almost exclusively on social media. Alberto Del Rio counteracted Jack's promo by not trigger warning any of his posts on Tumblr. The Fiend!
Zeb taught me about a message. He made me believe in that message. That message grew into a movement and united the WWE universe.
Sadly, it was of the bowel variety. Renee Young throws us violently to ringside, where Michael Cole, JBL, and Jerry Lawler all make fun of Booker T.
Man, I've been waiting on that one. It's going to be good. In the immortal words of Booker T, this is going to be good. TLC, we're just minutes away.
You know you have problems when Michael Cole is ridiculing the limits of your vocabulary. Team Bad comes out, while Team Even Worse continues to speak on commentary. Michael Cole reminds us that Sasha Banks is from Boston, so obviously they'd want to showcase her in her hometown by sticking her in a completely superfluous match on the pre-show. I'm sure they're just savings, her real push until later though. Team Bad get on the microphone and lay down the law, intimidating the rest of the WWE roster into treating them like a force to be reckoned with.
Christmas!
Or whatever the fuck that was. Team Bad blesses us with the gift of song. Did this gift come with a receipt, perchance?
6 woos from Flair. Woo, 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 woo.
More than 6.
Somehow Hotline Bling being mentioned within a series of wrestling references makes more sense than the actual lyrics to Hotline Bling. Sasha Banks takes on steamed punk Becky Lynch, and Jerry Lawler comments on these kids today and their crazy hairstyles.
And if you're watching this right now, do not adjust the color on your set. That's their real hair.
Also, if the camera ever points at Jerry, don't try to adjust the color on your set. His face is usually beet red from all the shit jokes that he's withholding. Becky and Sasha have a series of fun wrestling sequences, but the announcers are too busy complaining about Team Bad's singing to acknowledge the thing that these women have actually trained to be good at. Only Jerry Lawler is able to convey the hard-hitting flurry of moves.
No, not so. Getting flipped around like a cheese omelet.
We take a much-needed break from the violent cheese omelet preparation to cut to a commercial for other upcoming WWE Network exclusives, such as a cheese Danish, a cheese salad, a cheeseburger, and a cheese sandwich. Back to the match, and there's some really intense action going on in the ring, so of course Michael Cole starts joking about how hilarious it would be if Byron Saxton were featured on Ride Along. Do you know what else would be hilarious? Wrestlers doing wrestling things on a wrestling show. Becky Lynch hits a perfect exploder suplex, which is called quite correctly by the announce team.
These girls are going for Becky.
Look, if you guys aren't going to do commentary on the match, then I'm not going to do commentary on your commentary. I'm just going to have a smiley off with Tom Phillips. Am I winning? Sasha Banks wins after Team Bad interfere, and then they all go home and play their favorite entry in the Assassin's Creed franchise.
Again, the name of the game for Team Bad has been Unity King.
Back at Expert House, Corey Graves does his best impression of Sasha Banks, which involves having his talents enormously wasted on the fucking pre-show. It's a great impression, he practices it every month. Tom Phillips is interviewing Alberto Del Rio as a part of his elementary school's foreign exchange program. Del Rio gets angry at Tom for not rolling his R's when introducing him. I also get very upset when people don't roll their arse. Everybody should roll their arse. Especially you, Paige. Alberto Del Rio is back again, and about time too. And this time, he's in the mood.
I'm bigger, faster, stronger.
Come on, Del Rio. Take it to the fridge.
I'm Mexican.
Well, watch out for Booker T then. Word is he's just like Donald Trump. Tom Phillips asks Del Rio about his opponent's chances tonight.
I feel bad for him because this is unfair. It's like having a man fighting against a child.
Or like a man being interviewed by a child. Which clearly isn't happening here. Alberto Del Rio has been taking geography lessons from Jerry Lawler.
You have everything in one group. You have a Bulgarian, an Irish, someone from the United Kingdom, and a Mexican.
Yeah, that's the globe right there. You've got Ireland, England, Mexico, and Bulgaria on one side of the planet, and then everything else is just America. Tom Phillips savings us from this segment and passes us back to the expert panel. NXT TakeOver takes place next week in England, one of the only 5 countries in the world. Renee Young tries to get us excited for tonight's main event, but the production team instead chooses to display the TV graphic for the Intercontinental title match instead. That's okay, production team. I'm sure most of us consider that to be the main event anyway. We see a video package telling the story of Roman Reigns versus Sheamus, culminating in tonight's grudge match.
Roman, Sheamus, no rules. Just climb a ladder. Grab the title.
So, one rule then. The experts attempt to discuss the ramifications of tonight's main event, but they are sadly drowned out by someone with even less IQ points than Booker T.
Man has never made any material stronger than the human spirit. The human spirit of Roman Reigns is so strong and so powerful. Everything that's been thrown in his way, he has proven to be resilient.
Backstage, the League of Nations revel in the dark side powers given to them by their foreignness, and Sheamus announces their villainous plan.
Tonight, the League of Nations will adore! Yeah!
Oh no! They're going to adore! I hate it when people adore things. Kids looking at cuddly animals at the zoo. I fucking hate it. Where do they get off? The TLC pay-per-view begins with a video package that looks like they accidentally replaced the one that was meant to make Roman Reigns look like an intimidating wrestler with the one that makes Roman Reigns look like he's in a shower commercial. The first match is the Triple Threat Elimination Tag Team Ladder Match for the tag titles. The New Day are the champions, so of course they come out first, because there are no rules tonight. Especially the rules that make things seem like they matter. Lillian Garcia does an all-owl cover of Team Bad's Christmas performance.
Nobody.
And then Kofi Kingston takes issue with Seth Green's new animated series.
This is not WWE Junior. They look like some kids, man.
Children.
And no, WWE Junior is not some lame spin-off of Nick Jr. If it were, this ladder match would feature all three teams trying to climb a ladder so that they can visit Melissa Joan Hart in her bedroom. The Lucha Dragons come out, causing Michael Cole to lose all control of his sentence structure.
Well, here comes one of their opponents tonight.
Yes, here come one of them. There's another one on the way, but they're too busy getting a savings to be here on time tonight. The Usos come out, and they have some critical things to say about Sabu. The circus act begins. The match begins, and ladders are being thrown everywhere. Xavier Woods joins in on commentary and announces that the New Day will be releasing their own Scar album onto iTunes. I recommend releasing it under the name They Might Be Andre the Giants. Xavier helpfully explains his role in this match to the other announcers.
That trombone got your guys fired up.
See? I'm a bard. That's a person who plays music to buff their team, Jerry.
A bard?
Bard.
Okay, whoever is group leader, please kick Jerry from the group. He's clearly a noob, and we don't have time to explain this world boss to him. The announce team consistently mixes up the wrestlers' names, and so Xavier Woods, a man not paid to do commentary, picks up their copious amounts of slack.
What was Kalisto thinking?
Sin Cara, Jerry.
Oh, Sin Cara.
It's okay. I got it for you. I
appreciate that.
The New Day gets laid out by the Usos and the Lucha Dragons, but Xavier Woods is quick on the uptake and covers for them, suggesting they're just regenerating stamina.
My team is resting right now. They are healing.
Resting?
If you play WWE 2K16, you know you got to get your stamina back before you get in the ring and climb the ladder to get the title.
WWE 2K16?
Yes.
That's a video game.
And it's the most realistic.
It's the real thing.
The most realistic wrestling game ever. That means it.
I know. It's awesome.
In Michael Cole's world, it's okay to compare the WWE Network to fucking Netflix, but it's not okay to compare the WWE to the game based on the WWE. Funnily enough, the commentary in the video game is just as confused. Kalisto hits one of the best spots of the night, nailing the Selena del Sol off the top of the ladder onto another ladder, causing the announcers to praise him. Or rather, praise his tag partner who did literally nothing.
Sin Cara, the only one left in the ring, and Sin Cara.
That's Kalisto! That is Kalisto! Get them right! Sin Cara's down here on the floor, passed out!
Apparently, Sin Cara is also Spanish for Kalisto. Given that the members of each team are apparently interchangeable, Big E or Kofi Kingston or Xavier Woods grabs the belt and wins the match.
Somebody call the sheriff! These boys just stole the show!
Well, somebody had better tell the Wyatts, because according to Booker T, they find that kind of behavior irredeemable. Next up is Ryback versus Rusev, and the announcers kick the hype train into overdrive very early on.
What's next? Look at this matchup. Yeah.
Remember, this feud revolves around the fact that Ryback doesn't like that Rusev and Lana are engaged, and Rusev is angry at Ryback for continually putting Lana in harm's way. So of course Rusev is the bad guy in this feud. Michael Cole plugs a shitty, barely usable thing that will probably be phased out in a couple of years. And then after he talks about Ryback, he promotes Hulu as well. Michael Cole discusses Rusev and Lana's recent engagement.
She's totally in love and committed to Rusev, that she's saving herself for marriage with Rusev.
It's like a modern-day Shakespearean tale.
Yes, just like all those Shakespeare plays that revolve around people being in committed relationships and not having sex until marriage. You remember Romeo and Juliet, the story about a happily married couple who spend all their time planning fun parties. Classic Shakespeare. Ryback accidentally bumps into Lana, and she distracts him long enough for Rusev to kick him in the face. Lana celebrates having set her gender back a whopping 50 years. Rusev gets Ryback in the accolade, and Ryback passes out. Just like in Shakespeare's Hamlet, where at the end, the wacky king gets his comeuppance and the happily married couple live happily ever after. Rusev and Lana kiss, or as Michael Cole interprets it, Sin Cara makes out with himself. Popular superstar Dean Ambrose has a conversation with superstar Roman Reigns.
I just pictured myself on the top of that ladder, popping each snap of that WWE Championship.
Yes, Roman will be popping each snap of the belt. Apparently Roman has graduated from tater tots and is now just replacing random words in his vocabulary with food items, starting with this popular brand of cereal. Next up, it's Jack Swagger versus Alberto Del Rio in a musical chairs match, without the music part. Alberto Del Rio is US champ, so of course he comes out first, because the best way to honor tradition is to pretend like it doesn't fucking exist. Hell, that's how they treat half the members of the Hall of Fame. Del Rio comes out. No Zeb Coulter this time. Jack Swagger comes out. No Swagger this time.
How ready is Jack Swagger?
He's quoting from the original, less cited version of the American Constitution that simply reads, "We, the people, are..." Remember, there are no rules in this match, except that you can use chairs and you have to pin the other guy or make him submit. But aside from that, no rules! Alberto Del Rio piles a fuck ton of chairs on top of Jack Swagger. Looks like he shouldn't be chanting CCC, he should be chanting seat, seat, seat. The crowd start chanting for their favorite participant in this match, popular inanimate object, Seat M Punk. Swagger gets the ankle lock on Del Rio, enhancing the move by lightly dressing it with a steel chair, not applying any pressure to the chair whatsoever. Look, just putting a chair on something doesn't make it painful. I should know, I'm an armchair critic. Alberto Del Rio gets the win and raises the title above his head, though not without difficulty.
Del Rio's taking so much punishment, he can't even climb up the second rope to show off that championship. You're right, he can't even stand.
Yes, never mind the fact that he's walking around celebrating, the man cannot stand. It's like how we keep convincing ourselves that Baron Corbin can wrestle, despite all evidence to the contrary. Create a WWE superstar, the game that even the WWE creative team can't seem to win. Up next is the 8-man tag team elimination match between the Wyatt family and Team Extreme, who are backstage being interviewed by JoJo. Bubba Ray points out that the Wyatt family has done to them what nobody else has been able to do before. Put the Dudleys through tables. Never mind the fact that New Jack used to almost murder them on a semi-weekly basis back in the day. A group of hillbillies just threw them through a piece of balsa wood, and now they're pissed about it. Tommy Dreamer gets philosophical.
But when you're extreme, you don't know what we've seen.
Because being extreme makes you retroactively blind, I suppose. The Dudleys, Dreamer, and the other guy take on the Wyatt family, who come out with their traditional spooky entrance, surrounded by people's camera phone lights. JBL says that Team Extreme has never had to face something like this. What, unnecessarily slow entrances to catchy music? I'm pretty sure they've had to deal with the Sandman before. Bray Wyatt is cosplaying the Krampus, while Eric Rowan has traded in his old sheep mask for one that has been broken up into 100 tiny pieces. Much like his promos. That guy comes out carrying one of those, and the announcers check social media.
The Man Beast actually tweets. He sent out a tweet earlier today that said, "Watch out for the tables because you all have a hashtag Gore coming."
Rhino knows how to tweet.
He's not an actual rhino, guys. You're thinking of Sheamus in the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, unlike the rest of the world, which is trying very hard not to. The match begins, and Tommy Dreamer's blindness doesn't prevent him from chucking paper airplanes, extremely heavy and dangerous garbage cans, into the ring. Bubba Ray spends the first half of the match outside the ring giving Braun Strowman his first actual wrestling lesson. Fortunately, Strowman passes. Oh, sorry, I didn't finish reading the line. Strowman passes out and learns nothing. Bubba Ray Dudley lightly massages Strowman's back with a piece of lint. Oh, sorry, he hits him violently with a garbage can made of steel. The tables keep breaking before anybody can be put through them, and we learn that ECW actually stood for Extremely Clumsy Wrestling. The action reaches fever pitch. Oh no, sorry, the action has a fever and it has to go home to sleep it off.
You're wondering where Tommy Dreamer is. He's getting destroyed by Braun Strowman on the other side of the ring. Oh!
Great call there by the veteran announcer Michael Cole. Reminds me of this classic bit of Jim Ross wrestling commentary. By God, he's broken in half. Will somebody stop the damn match? You killed him, good God. Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper lightly dab at Rhino's face with a cotton swab. Oh no, sorry, they beat the shit out of him with a pair of unwieldy garbage cans. Tommy Dreamer, the king of extreme wrestling, pulls out a cheese grater and uses it exactly the way you'd expect him to. Like any other foreign object being used in the match. The innovator of violence, ladies and gentlemen. If only I were extreme, then I wouldn't have seen this shit. Bubba Ray pours lighter fluid onto a table. Meanwhile, Jerry Lawler gets a whiff of his own sense of humor.
Oh, guys, you smell that? Oh, man.
The Wyatt family wins a wrestling match on pay-per-view. Back at the experts panel, Booker T congratulates Alberto Del Rio.
Del Rio, no League of Nations, went out there and proved the point that he is the guy to beat in the division.
I'm starting to lose track of how many the guys there are in the WWE. So long as we're clear that Kofi is the one who has done it here in the WWE, that much is certain. There is a commercial for the Royal Rumble that highlights some of the classic sounds that we associate with this pay-per-view event.
The Royal Rumble match. It starts like... and then it's like... it ends like...
oh, it's difficult.
Kevin Owens speaks fluent Jockinese.
Sports, yeah!
Interstellar champion Kevin Owens takes on animated chipmunk Dean Ambrose. And finally we realize what the League of Nations were going to adore. Dean Ambrose's cuddly cheeks.
So adorable.
Chubby cheeks. Remember, there are no rules in this match except for the rules that there are. JBL's commentary has never been better or more to the point.
Dean Ambrose just kind of does stuff.
Wrestlers. They just sort of do things. JBL spends the entire match freaking out at the idea of Dean Ambrose representing the WWE on a talk show. Meanwhile, the rest of the universe freaks out at the idea of JBL representing the WWE on WWE. Dean Ambrose hits a suicide dive to the outside like literally everybody else on the roster does because he's a wild and unruly loose cannon, and who the fuck knows what he's gonna do next? It turns out what he does next is the same fucking thing he always does. What a loose cannon. Holy shit! KO Kevin Owens is Dean Ambrose on the outside, and the referee is about to count him out. But fortunately, Dean is able to roll back into the ring at the last minute.
So Ambrose just beat the count at 9.5, and Owens can't believe it. He's crazy.
Yes, any normal, sane person would have allowed themselves to lose. But not Dean Charles Manson Ambrose. He's a nutter.
You put that on a truck, children are going to not be able to go to school.
What do you normally put on trucks that encourages children to go to school? And why are they paying so much attention to trucks? Kevin Owens hits a cannonball sent onto Dean Ambrose in the corner.
Anybody want to go bowling? No!
Shut the fuck up, JBL. You're out of your element. The Chinaman is not the issue here. Dean Ambrose tears off his shirt, destroying the entire public education system in the process. Dean Ambrose counters the pop-up powerbomb into a roll-up and wins the match, earning himself the Intercontinental Breakfast.
One of the most prestigious titles in the history of sports entertainment is now held by a raving lunatic.
Now, JBL, I know Biggie is a bit loud, but calling him a raving lunatic is a bit much. Oh, you were talking about the Intercontinental title. Paige takes on Charlotte for the Divas title in a match where both women are heels, so of course the crowd is divided. Divided as to whether they should go for a piss break now or save it for Roman Reigns' match next. The commentary team reminds us that this pay-per-view is brought to us by K Jewelers.
Would you buy Paige some jewelry for a kiss?
No, that would be dumb. Charlotte takes a page out of her old man's playbook and bends the rules to her advantage, even going as far as to expose the second turnbuckle. She also exposes the fact that she has little to no personality of her own. Backstage, a group of talented and unique wrestlers are doing something interesting. But never mind that, here's Charlotte doing the flare flop and knife edge chops because that's what her dad did, and now she's doing that. Charlotte drops Paige face first onto the exposed turnbuckle and gets the win, and the announcers are quite rightly steamed at Charlotte for her disobedience.
Never trust a player. That was a play right out of her old man's playbook. The nature boy. I've never seen him better.
Yeah, Charlotte defended her title belt, but look at that old man over there. He's fun. Let's talk about him. Earlier in the week, a randomly selected Uso helped a WWE fan propose to his girlfriend in a WWE ring. The fan somehow injured himself mid-question and is expected to be out about 6 months. Backstage, Charlotte and Ric Flair, aka the same person apparently, bump into Becky Lynch, whose father is not popular, therefore neither is she. Ric Flair posits a thoughtful discussion on the merits of capitalism and its effects on society.
Downtown Boston, baby!
Dad.
Woo!
That's some deep stuff, Rick. We once again get an in-depth look at the thrilling feud between Roman Reigns and Sheamus, and the voiceover guy reminds us once again that there are no rules. Okay, so here are the rules. You can use tables, ladders, and chairs, and you have to climb a ladder to get the belt to win the match. But aside from that, no rules! Sheamus, the WWE champion, comes out first, which would be disrespectful and demeaning, but then you realize it's Sheamus, so it's kind of a step up. Jerry Lawler simply is.
If I was in this match, I'd use my step ladder, because my real ladder and I don't have a good relationship.
as opposed to all those other successful relationships you've had. Do us a favor and use that stepladder to climb up your own ass. Sheamus kisses the WWE title before handing it to the ref, and Jerry Lawler laughs at him for it. Dude, you just admitted that you like to fuck ladders. Roman Reigns arrives, and I can't think of any good jokes. But fortunately, this sign is here to pick up my slack. A lone ginger has invaded the building and is posing as a human being. Forget the mammoth threat. The ginger menace is real and imminent. We are no longer any of us safe. JBL refers to Roman Reigns as WWE's bridesmaid, which makes sense as all the creepy old men at the party want to fuck him. The match begins, and Michael Cole wonders if Sheamus being pinned by Roman Reigns on Raw last week will have any effect on the champion's mindset. Jerry Lawler psychoanalyzes Sheamus.
It's got to. I mean, it's got to. Just the mental knowing that can happen.
Ah, the mental knowing. Not to be confused with the physical knowing, as in I would like to physically know Paige. Roman takes it to the obnoxious Celtic Guardian, and the crowd show their support by cheering for a man they spent the last 8 years booing.
Sheamus and then Reigns.
A positive reaction for John Cena, and there are gingers in the building? Pretty sure that's a sign of the apocalypse right there. Dat Sheamus, though.
What's it? And Sheamus, though.
The fans' apathy intensifies. The fight spills to the outside, and the wrestlers come dangerously close to the announce table. And Jerry Lawler, a man who has been watching the pay-per-view transpire for the last 4 hours, says this.
Hey guys, look at this. There are tables, ladders, and chairs all over this arena.
That's weird, because you'd expect a pay-per-view with a name like Tables, Ladders, and Chairs to have none of those things. But there they are. Go figure, I guess. Roman tries several times during the match to grab the title belt from the top of the ladder, and the fans react to this by going boo. They're not booing Roman, though. They're booing the man who designed the ladder for not giving it an extra 2 or 3 steps that would have given Roman the edge he needed. Yeah, fuck that guy. Boo is right. The League of Legends run down middle lane and start ganking Roman, while Sheamus climbs the ladder and wins the WWE title, thereby ensuring himself a long and lucrative title reign. Feck is on a roll.
The Irish are on a roll!
I'd say somebody should call Sheamus' mama, but chances are she's too drunk to get to the phone right now. Roman accepts his loss graciously, by graciously going crazy and beating on everybody involved with a steel chair. Michael Cole has the perfect excuse for Roman's psychotic outburst.
Can you blame him? No.
Yes, you might think that Roman has snapped and is going too far, but let me refute that point thusly. I think I made my point. Triple H runs down to the ring with a number of WWE officials, and you can tell it's a serious situation because Triple H refers to the referee by name. Roman goes H shit on Triple H, and the COO of the company proves his professionalism by having words of encouragement for his employee, even while said employee is beating the shit out of him.
Come on, again.
Gosh, that is the COO of WWE.
That is Roman Reigns' boss.
Roman Reigns demolishes Triple H in an impressive display of fury and anger. And finally, after what feels like years of having him forced down our throat, we finally swallow him. Jerry Lawler puts the exclamation point on Roman Reigns' rampage.
We I've ever witnessed out here. May have seen the unthinkable here tonight.
Makes a nice change from the unwatchable. As Triple H is being carried away by EMTs, Roman Reigns runs down from the arena entrance and spears his boss. Meanwhile, Michael Cole thinks that Mark Mero just showed up.
He's a wild man! He's an absolute wild man!
Well, that's it for the Remark in 2015. Tune in next time. Unless Dean Ambrose being Intercontinental Champion somehow causes the internet to implode.